Alright, so on this episode of Jab Scrap Adventures, we're finally putting the buggy back together. And the reason we're putting the buggy back together, we have a wheeling trip coming up finally. And at the end of April, we're going to be going to Good Evening Ranch for the She Crawls event again. We went last year and we had a great time. We can't wait to go this year, but this year we're going to take the buggy. So that being said, we're going to get into this and start putting it back together. We got some new front end parts. We got some parts coming for the transfer case. So this thing should be pretty good to go once we get all these parts on it. So for some of our front end parts, we went over to Global Offroad Supply and used our buddy Pepe Palmo. I would highly recommend him. He's always done right by us. Super good guy, and he can get you the parts you need. So we got these trail gear seals for our 609 front axle. And we got these U-joint U-bolts for the front drive shaft. So that I was having a heck of a time figuring out what these were. Luckily, there was a forum for this buggy, and it had the part number in there because I could not figure out the wall thickness of the tube on our axle housing because we didn't order it. But we got it all figured out now. We got the right seals, so we're gonna start getting this thing back together. Alright, so the way that these axle seals work is these O-rings go inside the axle tube and they seal the outside, and then obviously you have your seal here that'll seal to the shaft. But they make different diameters of these. So we got, like I said, we got the right ones now. So we're going to get these put in and we can put the front end together.
What are you guys doing?
Playing kings and queens with lots of treasure here. And that's the king. And I'm giving him all of these real chocolate coins.
We're going to try and get some of the mud out of this axle tube. We're going to try plugging the backside and vacuuming it out. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're at least going to try and get it a little bit cleaner. Well, it's a little bit better in there than what it was, and we got the center of the diff cleaned out where the third member is going to go, so it's a little bit better. We'll work on the other side and put the third member in it. So this was our old seal. You can see it's pretty wallered out, and this is the new seal. So these were still sealing. They weren't leaking any oil out of them, but while we're there, I'd rather just do it because you got to tear the whole axle apart just to get to these. There's a bearing on the inside of these spindles, and we ordered new seals and it came with new bearings. There's a bearing right there. What are you doing, Corey?
Taking the doors that got destroyed and bent and flops and making some half doors out of them just so I can see a little bit better. So we're cutting the line, we're gonna cap it.
So if these doors look familiar, that's because Corey owns the turquoise Geo that's been in a lot of the videos. And these are the doors off it, and he got some doors with new windows in them because he's got no windows anymore. So these will be half doors now. So that's what all the noise is over here. We got one of the spindles outside. I ended up having to torch it. It just grenaded. So we're going to see if we have any better luck with this one. If not, we're going to have to torch it as well. This is what we ended up ending up with. So that's where we're at right now. Alright, so we changed our plan of attack. grabbed one of my pry bars and it actually was able to get on the bearing a lot better. Now bearings out. Cool. Okay, got that bearing out. Now we got the new one. Gonna grab my brass hammer. Now we're gonna take a socket. All right, we're fully seated. Now we'll repeat the process and grease it up. Sometimes you gotta get a little creative. Corey's got the grinder. I need a wire wheel. So I came up with this. Works pretty good. So these are the seals that we got from Offroad Design. And these, they call them upgraded seals. So this will actually get pressed onto the end of the stub shaft, and then this seal goes in the end of the spindle where we just put the bearing in. So just like that, that seal's installed. That one will go there. And then that will seal the inside of the spindle. Alright, so we're going to install these seals. I have not yet had to install these. I greased up the O-rings, so hopefully they'll slide in there nicely and kind of help seal it up a little bit. So, let's see how this goes. Okay, that one's installed. It's pretty tight in there, so it shouldn't push out whenever we install the shaft. Slide the other one in. We'll be ready to install the third member. Good.
There you go, right there, right there. Now spin it back. Spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it. That should be right about there. But I can't tell where the hole is. Yeah, ow, right there.
Sorry. Oh, you alright?
Yeah.
Those are a lot heavier than Toyota diffs. That's for sure. Alright, we're ready to put the shafts in. We're going to pull the grease zerks out of them so we can get the shafts back in and button this front end up.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Good job getting the transfer case out.
Oh, thanks. Corey and Sarah actually got it out. I was helping Taylor last night, but transfer case is out. We got the welds cut off our nut that we were using to hold the front output on, which is why we got new outputs. After getting it all apart, or getting the yokes off, it looks like the threads are okay on the yoke, but on the output shaft itself. But this will be an upgrade anyhow. So we'll get the new outputs in it, take a look at the inside of this thing, and get it back in. Alright, we got the cover off it. Everything looks decent in there so far. Working on getting this clocking ring off. Corey just showed me a trick with these, because these were locked in. Could not get them out. Actually was twisting. I don't know if you can see it or not, but my Allen was completely twisted, about ready to break. It was just Harbor Freight, but nonetheless, it was about to break. So, if you take center punch, smack it a couple times, it'll come right out. So, gonna continue getting this thing apart. Probably have to do a little bit of research figuring it out, because I've never done one of these. But we'll get it. We'll start the reassembly after we get it all apart. Fun stuff. Just like that, those are off. Yeah, that's going to take some doing. There's a lot of silicone holding that. Alright, we're going to continue. Alright, so we got the case apart. We got a mess on the workbench right now. And I don't know where any of it goes. If you're anything like me, I'm real visual with stuff, and TerraFlex has a really nice video, and they show step by step on how to tear these apart and put them back together. So that's what I've been kind of watching. I kind of have to see what's going on, but we're gonna put the new outputs in this thing, get it back together. We do have to send out, I believe, this part here and get it machined for the bigger bearings for the output. I believe that's the part we have to send out. So we'll get that taken care of, and we'll get this case back together, get it in the buggy, and then got a couple other small little things to do to the buggy, but be ready to go. Hey. Alright, well, I got bored, and I figured if we're rebuilding the transfer case, might as well make it look nice. Alright, that's stinky. So now we got the fan on it, blowing it dry. We're gonna have a purple transfer case now. Alright, well, we're back out here with the buggy again, trying to get it all ready. We haven't been doing a whole lot of filming. We've just been trying to thrash to get stuff ready. So here's kind of what's going on. We got the rear output and everything all shimmed and installed in the Dana 300. We are waiting on the front output to get machined. That should be done tomorrow. We'll be able to put the case the rest of the way back together, get that in. Charlie is here.
Hi.
And Charlie is helping me with rock lights, because the buggy does not have rock lights, and when we go to Good Evening Ranch, I want to have rock lights. So we've kind of been messing around with them already, trying to get placement right. I think we figured out where we're going to put them. We got this one sitting up in here, and it's sandwiched between the two pieces of floorboard, so it's kind of nice because it can't go anywhere. Even if we lose the bolt, it really shouldn't go anywhere. And then there won't be an extra bolt sticking out of the floor pan or nothing like that. We got it as far away from the header as we can for heat purposes. It's got a nice beam down to the ground. We've kind of been playing around with it. So the rock lights we ended up going with, this is kind of a story here. So we got on Amazon and we bought these. I think they're like 30 bucks a piece. They seem to be a nice quality, and if you notice, they look a lot like the Baja design and the Harbor Freight ones. Quality seems okay for a $30 light. They're pretty bright. They do have like a marker light type of deal on them. So we're just going to wire them together so that the marker is on with the light. And what the marker is, it's like this yellow light down in the logo here. But so I had originally bought the lights from Harbor Freight, and I got them home, and we were going to use those as rock lights. I was like, oh, 106 bucks, that's not too bad. Bought 2 boxes of them, got them home. Beware, there's only one light in those boxes at Harbor Freight. I was not about to put $400 in lights on this that are potentially going to get smashed. So, $30 Amazon lights for the win. So we're going to work on getting these mounted up. We got the rears figured out. We're going to put those. Charlie right now is cutting the whip out. Yep. Taking the whip out. We're going to get the rack lights wired in. We're going to put a new whip in that's got a dimmer on it because that kind of acts as our dome light. Kind of acts as my light for my gauges. It's nice when the kids are with us to have light. So we're going to put a new whip in it and get the rack lights installed. And hopefully by like next weekend, this thing will be ready to go. So this light is mounted up out of the way. It shouldn't really get hit with anything. I was originally going to put them back here and have the beams cross, but they don't quite work back here. On this side it's too close to the fuel cell, and then I don't really want them mounted underneath because then they're hanging really low. So we got them tucked up out of the way. We just won't have a whole lot of light in the middle, but it'll be better than what we had because this thing is pretty dark at night. So we're gonna keep rolling with this, get everything mounted up, and then start wiring. Yay. So we forgot, or I forgot, because I did it, that I zip tied some stuff up out of the way. But we took the hood and windshield off of it so we can access some of the wires easier and do a better job of routing the wires. We got both rock lights are mounted now up front. I got one more to mount in the rear. Charlie's going to town cutting zip ties.
We don't have new ones for.
I might have to get zip ties tomorrow. But yep, looks pretty naked right now.
Very.
Charlie got the new whip up in there. So we're getting there.
Wires ran nicely.
I guess we might as well try to address some of that stuff.
We're addressing it.
We did have to move this catch can a little bit down here. That catch can was kind of in the way, but got it slid over. We're getting there. And hopefully tomorrow we can put the T-case in this thing. And that should be just about ready. Alright, workbench. Disaster. But we have a complete Dana 300. It now has big spline, outputs front and rear. Everything spins. It goes through all the gears. So we did something right, I think. We'll find out. We did have to have this front cover machined. I took it up to my brother at HW Arsenal Machine. They got us taken care of there. We did run into a slight issue where either A, something just wasn't jiving, or B, we didn't machine the cover deep enough. But took the thrust washer up to them, machined a little bit off the thrust washer. Now it's all good. It's all shimmed right and everything now, so we should be good to go. We're gonna get ready to slap this thing back in the buggy. I'm gonna put the cover back on it, put some fluid on it while it's on the bench, and then we'll stuff it up in there. It'll be a lot easier to put the fluid in while this cover's not on. But yeah, we're getting there. We gotta pull the flanges off the drive shafts. We got our U-bolt for the U-joints. Once again, we went through Global Offroad Supply. Pepe hooked us up with some more. So that's all done. And yeah, rock lights are all installed now. So here in a little bit we'll get a final video of everything that was done and get this thing outside and make sure it goes through all the gears okay and everything moves, because if not, we got an output shaft coming for the Toyota, and we'll slap that thing together really quick if we have to, if we run into a bunch of issues. But fingers crossed we don't, and we can take this good evening and have a good time. Corey's just doing brake pads. His is pretty much all done.
Waiting on caliper.
Oh yeah, he's waiting on a caliper. So everyone's getting ready for good evening. Should be a good time. Well, we were cruising right along here, and we hit a snag, and it's quite a big snag. So the new outputs come with a bigger tail shaft housing. Well, this buggy was built around the old case. It hits this tube, and we cannot get it to go up high enough to bolt the cross member in, and it's going to be rubbing that aluminum housing. So not good. So now we've got the side panels torn off. We're going to start pulling seats out, and we get to figure out what to do now. It's going to involve cutting, and it's going to involve welding. Don't have time for this, but that's what we got to do, I guess. So with that being said, we're going to start ripping the seats out of this thing and figure out what we're going to do to get this thing to fit. Alright, we came up with a new plan. Gonna try to just get this tube out without taking everything out, and see if we can just notch the tube, make it work. Okay, got the tube out. Already marked it where we gotta mess with it. Now, figure out what we gotta do. Alright, so we cut a hole in the tube. Now we're gonna plate it, and we'll have our clearance for our transfer case finally. Well, it's not the best work I've ever done, but oop, it'll definitely hold. So, got it all capped, weighted, and now I'll clear the transfer case. That was the biggest thing. So, and if we gotta add support later, we'll add some more support. But for right now, that's what we're gonna roll with and see how it works. Fixed. Alright, so we got the buggy done. We didn't film every step of the way. There's some long nights. Gotta thank Charlie because he helped wire up the rock lights. So we got rock lights installed on it now. We got new super joints in the axles. We did JB Concepts, 32 spline, outputs front and rear on the Dana 300. So we should be pretty well set at this point. We just replaced some parts that are wearing out, and the rock lights will be a really nice upgrade for wheeling at nighttime because we're definitely going to be doing some of that. But I think it's all ready for the She Crawls event now. So we just got a idler pulley that we're going to get a new pulley for it. That way we have it with us. So it's ready to go on the trailer now. So the next stop is She Crawls down at Good Evening Ranch. We're gonna go to the She Crawls Shakedown run. So if you see us down there, stop by and say hi. But we'll see you guys out on the trail.
Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.